Hello, homies, and welcome to day one of Homeopathy Awareness Week, the 1 week in the year where we take the time to celebrate the founder of homeopathy, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who was born on the 10th of April, 1755 in Meissen, Germany. For the third year running, the Homeopathy Hangout podcast is releasing daily episodes all week where we share testimonials on homeopathy from our listeners around the world. I want to take this time to thank you with all my heart to the brave people who shared their stories. Believe me, I know how nerve-wracking it can sometimes be to record yourself, so I want you to know that I honor and appreciate each and every one of you who was so brave to share your testimonial. You're also welcome to listen back on our Homeopathy Awareness Week testimonials from 2023 and 2024. Just listen back to the episodes around the 180s and also around the 280s. These are great episodes to forward to your family and friends or anyone else who may need a bit of convincing of the healing powers of homeopathy or simply to celebrate the magical healing art of homeopathy. Thanks so much for listening.
Hello, I'm Kelly with RestoringToHealth.com. My homeopathy awareness story is in regards to myself. About 10 years ago, I started showing signs of MS. Initially, I had a Wi-Fi sensitivity that turned into multiple chemical sensitivities. I found out I had MTHFR, and I wasn't able to detox any kind of chemicals, smells, toxins, or Wi-Fi. I could feel in a car if the GPS was turned on, and when sitting in front of the computer, my face would turn red, and I felt like I was cooking. My adrenals were completely blown, my circulation was terrible, and I started to show signs of deep dementia. I couldn't remember what I had done that day or if I had just thought of it, so I had to start keeping track with list. A year into that, and I started getting many TIAs, shocking pains that quickly ran up my body, foot sensations as if I was walking on bags of water, and a lot of fear that I would have a stroke. Nighttime was absolutely the worst. I was only able to lay flat on my back in bed. I could not bend my limbs or it felt like I was going to black out. I would pray for morning. One day I realized I could no longer feel my feet, my hands, everything in my body was numb, from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. And that's when I prayerfully stumbled on homeopathy. Homeopathy literally saved my life. I've been crunchy ever since I had children. We only used natural methods back then, but for some reason I had never investigated it much or knew very much about it until I was at a point of desperation. I had used a Banerjee protocol for my daughter. She had a wheat allergy, and we were able to clear it up, so I started looking into it for myself. Sue Meyer and Joette Calabrese were my gateway into homeopathy. My very first remedy of opium for the major numbness that I had developed turned everything on a dime. I took it in increasing potencies over the course of 9 months, but the first single dose of a 30C gave me quite a healing wallop. I white-knuckled through a few days of my awful symptoms in reverse, and by the end of 3 months, the major life-threatening, really scary stuff had fallen away. It seemed very gentle. I put away the letters to my children and instead determined that I would study homeopathy. I would try to give a second chance of life to as many people as I could, just as I have been gifted. I attribute my healing to God alone, and I am so very grateful for this medicine. I hope my story will encourage someone else who feels as desperate as I was. Keep the hope alive and try homeopathy. I was not a one-hit wonder. It's taken a lot of time and effort. It's been a journey of many years. COVID was definitely a big speed bump for me at the tail end of my healing, but I can truly say it's been worth the fight. In my practice, I treat all sorts of small acutes to the very large issues, but the people who are dealing with deep traumas or feel really desperate dealing with their chronic, they have a special place in my heart for sure. I've been there. And I say to you, try homeopathy. You might just end up a homeopath like me.
Hi, my name is Casey DuPersis, and I have been using homeopathy very lightly for about 25 years of our daughters' lives. I've been using it intensely as a student, studying here, there, and everywhere for 5 years. I discovered it on a homeschool playground when one of my daughters got injured, and a friend offered me her kit and then offered to invite me to a class she was teaching. And I caught the bug deeply once I understood how vast and beautiful the medicine is. My favorite remedies currently right now, because here where I live, we're in winter-ish, so I love Fair & Foss. I love chamomilla. I've got lots of grandbabies who are teething. I love pulsatilla, and I love Ignatia for my teen who goes through ups and downs, and that remedy just pops her right out of it. And I find it useful. We have horses, we have chickens. I have healed with the medicine. The medicine has healed. I try not to say I have healed. The medicine has healed our dogs from pustules to aggression. It has helped our horses with thrush. It has helped our chickens with bumblefoot. It has healed myself emotionally, physically. I had a leg ulceration for a very long time and have been working intensely with the homeopath after trying to heal myself. And I have had incredible healing, and it has helped. 2 of our daughters have 3 children. They've given birth in our home, and I've used a homeopathic midwifery kit through their home birth alone and with our family, and administered remedies and watched those babies come into the world happy and healthy and beautiful, and continuing to do so with those grandchildren now. And I love, love, love homeopathy. I love that it gave me a passion and a focus and a direction when I was in a place in life where my children were growing and going, and I needed something to focus on. And I had a silent prayer in my heart, and I was given this gift. And I know I will continue to study it, teach it, and use it until the day I'm no longer here and I pass on. And I have passed it on to our children. And I've already let people know where the remedies will go when I'm gone, where the library will go when I'm gone. I have learned so much from you, Eugenie, and you have continued to inspire me and give me a wellspring of places to seek out additional knowledge and learning. And you've taught me that it's okay to be brave, that it's okay to be open, that it's okay to listen, that it's okay to not know. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you.
Hi, and happy Homeopathy Awareness Week. My name's Leah and I live in Southern California, but I'm originally from the UK. I would say that homeopathy found me, and I guess it arrived at the time when I needed it the most. It was more than a year after I had my first child before I realized that I was struggling with my postpartum mental health. I was kind of depleted, I guess, and I'd been struggling with insomnia. And I'd had several tests and trying to figure out what had happened, what was wrong with me, just going down many roads, just trying to figure things out. And then homeopathy came along, and that was the answer that I was looking for. It supported me so beautifully, not just with my own physical symptoms, but more importantly, my mental health. It helped me navigate through anxiety, depression, and rage that I just never expected to have as a new mom. I knew I absolutely had to learn more, and I enrolled in homeopathy school. And I spent the last 4 years gaining a first-class education at the Academy of Homeopathy Education based in the US in their amazing online program. I'm due to graduate in the next couple of months, and I've been in live clinics since the beginning, and I've been working with my own clients under supervision for over a year now. And I've just loved the journey. It's been amazing. Homeopathy is truly incredible, and it's a real privilege to get to do this work. You can find me over at leaphomeopathy.com. If I had to choose a favorite remedy, it's tough. But I would say I have a fondness for the female hormonal remedies, not just for pregnancy and postnatal or postpartum care, as I mentioned, but just for so many women who struggle their way through, hormonal imbalance or perimenopause and menopause symptoms. Homeopathy can just make such a difference. And I guess as a mom, I'm grateful for arnica when it's needed with having kids. I've really enjoyed studying the bird remedies. Really find those so fascinating. And just homeopathy has a special place in my heart, and it's a real privilege to study and continue to learn every day. I just enjoy it so much. Happy Homeopathy Awareness Week.
Hi, Eugenie. It's Jess Coleman here from Fruition Mind Body Health and Homeopath NZ and Radar Opus NZ. I've been meaning to do this for years. I just thought I'd share a really quick story about just last week with my son who got really sick. My husband and I went away for the weekend, and for our anniversary, we went camping. And when we came back, my mum said, "Oh, he's been a bit unwell. He's had a mild fever and things like that." I looked at him. His eyes were all funny. So by the time we got home, he'd developed a cough. So I gave him some CCA that day, and he stayed home from school. It wasn't too bad. And then the next day, he came down with a really big high fever. So he took a couple of days to get into it and said he had a headache. So I just gave him belladonna, really straightforward remedies. And he fell asleep. He fell asleep for about 2 hours. And the next day, his eyes were back to normal. He was really sick on that Tuesday. And by the time Thursday came, he was back at school. And his eyes were clear and normal. He did have a little bit of cough. That's fine. We're giving phosphorus for that. And that's homeopathy in a nutshell. You know, getting my son from being really unwell to being back at school and healthy. And this cough has been going around and it's been lingering. So that's in a nutshell. I couldn't live without it now. It's a daily part of my life. I've just taken a remedy this morning. I took anemia balance because I can't actually find my iron supplements anywhere. And it makes my life better. One of the most, apart from arnica, one of the most important remedies to me is Sol. I'm pale. I'm pale and I burn easily, and I burn within a couple of minutes. Not anymore. That's just not true anymore. Since I discovered Sol, I started using it along with my sun care regime. And when I was pregnant, I didn't want to put basically anything on my skin. Actually, I think I used your natural sunscreen and I used Sol. And for me to use that in the sun, going camping, being out and about in the summer, and to not get completely terribly burnt, even my friends said, "Gosh, you're the brownest I've ever seen you, and you're not even using piles of sunscreen all the time." Sol has changed my life because I can go in the sun and I can be out there for a while and I don't get burnt straight away. I used to literally sit in the sun about 2 minutes and be already getting burnt, and people were just like, "Oh, you just need to go out in the sun and get your skin used to it." That just wasn't the case for me. I just was a burner. So Sol has probably given me my life back. And arnica, arnica is just incredible. What can it do? But I have always gotten blood noses, which is epistaxis, if you're interested in the medical term. I was a real sort of rough and tumble kid, and I smashed my nose quite a few times as a kid. And so when the temperature would rise, I'd get blood noses. So, and the amount of times I was sitting there with tissue, and what you had to do changed. At first it was lie backwards, and then it was bend forward, and then it was pinch your bottom of your nose, then it was pinch the cartilage. Anyway, none of it worked. I just had to wait until it blocked by itself. But with arnica, that is, seeing the time, the remedy that I need, and I just take 1 or even 2 doses, and it's gone, and I can get on with my life. If it's not arnica, it's phosphorus. So with these simple remedies, I've saved so much of my life. I can enjoy my life more in the easy ways, and it's just so simple. It's just so simple to do. So thank you. Happy Homeopathy Awareness Week. Fabulous.
Hi, I just want to say I love homeopathy. I came across it about a year ago. I really wish I found out about it when I had my first child. The first remedy that I used was cantharis, and seriously, it was amazing. I had a sore bladder for 8 or 10 days, thinking it was a UTI, but it was cystitis, and nothing worked. And then I took 1 dose of cantharis and it was gone, which was seriously life-changing, especially having endometriosis. So yeah, anyone thinking about trying homeopathy, please give it a go. It's seriously life-changing. Thanks. Homeopathy is seriously life-changing, especially for a teething baby. ABC, aconite, belladonna, and chamomilla. Life-changing for a teething baby. If you haven't tried it, please try it.